Hi, this is Donald here, and this is my review of Jordan Peterson's book, 12 Rules for Life, An Antidote to Chaos. Jordan Peterson's book is a mix of life advice with psychology, a little bit of politics, a lot of history, and a lot of different points of view that are combined to give Jordan Peterson's personal rules for life. First of all, the physical edition of this book, I bought the hardcover. It's a really pretty book. It's simple, but it's, dare I say, pretty elegant looking. I would love displaying this on like a coffee table or just having it out. It just looks really nice. A very minimalistic look to it. The paper is pretty nice. The font looks nice. The spacing, it was really easy to read on my eyes and everything as well. I would definitely recommend buying a physical copy of this book. I also recommend buying a physical copy because some of the concepts he talks about can get pretty bogged down and complicated. And for some people, it might be better to be able to slow down and read through what he's trying to say. Some people might benefit from an audiobook though. Jordan Peterson's book, I initially didn't like it all that much, to be frank with you. It was a little bit convoluted, a little bit hard to follow, and it got really scientific and vague and theoretical and hard to follow. But as I read the book more and more, the more and more I got to enjoy it. And by the end, I really, really liked the book. That's not to say that there's not anything wrong with it. I mean, sometimes Jordan Peterson goes on rants, and sometimes they can become a little political or about, for whatever reason, he likes talking about the patriarchy and social issues like that. Must be near and dear to his heart. Maybe he gets a lot of attacks on that. I know he's a very public, famous figure. But something I didn't know about him is how storied and difficult his life has been. He grew up in a pretty extreme environment. A lot of his friends didn't quite turn out very well. Like, they had drug issues and didn't survive very long, didn't live very long, and lots of family issues and trials. And I really appreciated behind the public figure, there's quite a bit of personal pain and story and a human being behind it all. The 12 Rules for Life, I do think it probably could have been a little bit shorter. It probably could have been a little bit more concise, but it was always passionate, very passionate, just like you hear him speaking in lectures and stuff like that. Jordan Peterson really has a lot of fire behind it, and you could tell that each of these rules he really believes in. Sometimes he doesn't do the best job explaining it, but then again, he's also writing it partially for himself, right? I think every good writer, in one way or another, writes for himself, especially when it comes to rules for life, because how can you have rules for life besides something that's based on your own experience? The rules for life I thought were very insightful, and some of them might seem pretty common sense, but the way he explained it and the reasoning was very different and unique, and I appreciated that point of view. I really enjoyed this book. I definitely will read it again. Would I recommend this book? I would recommend this book especially if you are in your 20s. I think if you are maybe like a teenager or younger, I think it's gonna get pretty complicated. I mean, he gets pretty complex. And also, I think this is one of those books where having some life experience really helps, because you can look back and think, oh, okay, so this is what was happening at that time. So I think if you're of the younger generation, you might enjoy it, but I think it's going to be kind of a hard, challenging read. If you're older, you probably already figured out how your life you want to go. Not to say there's no meaning or purpose or value in this book, but I think this book will be the most impactful and interesting and profound to the younger generation, especially, I think, young men. Jordan Peterson, being the man he is, tends to have experiences that are more akin to men. And while there's a lot of useful things for women, I think it'll especially resonate with men. I think both men and women in their 20s will enjoy it, though. And I think men in their 20s, especially those who are struggling or trying to figure out life, basically all men in their 20s, I think it'll especially resonate with them. And that is my review of Jordan Peterson's book, 12 Rules for Life, An Antidote to Chaos. I hope you enjoyed this review, and let me know if you agree or disagree. He's definitely a controversial figure to some, so no need to agree.